OpenAI just dropped the GPT-5.6 family, and the entire timeline is flooding with some of the most insane autonomous agent and zero-shot coding runs we have ever seen. We also have Meta dropping a massive agentic model, and a massive leap in long-form AI video generation. Let's break down exactly what this new GPT-5.6 tier system looks like. We finally got our hands on Sol, Terra, and Luna. A user gave all three the exact same prompt: to animate a cutaway of the legendary Soyuz RD-108 rocket engine in a single HTML file. The results perfectly illustrate the new ecosystem. Sol, the flagship, is an absolute powerhouse. For 42 cents, it generated 36 kilobytes of code, featuring a fully spinning 3D turbopump, exhaust flames, and a museum-quality breakdown. Terra balances speed and cost right down the middle, giving a solid, blocky 3D render. And then you have Luna, which is comically cheap. For less than 3 cents, it gave a pretty nice, functional 2D breakdown. The game development capabilities of Sol are completely shifting the creative pipeline. Just look at this Mario Kart clone built in 3.js from a single prompt. It generated the entire track, item boxes, opponent AI, and a working lap system, which is pretty insane. It didn't stop there. Another user asked it for a Minecraft clone, and Sol actually bothered to code in a functional health bar, a hunger bar, water physics, and block breaking mechanics. No other model handles this level of interactive detail in one shot. It really blew my mind seeing such a generation from a model which costs almost half of Fable 5, and is even more efficient in doing so. When putting Sol up against Claude Fable 5 to build a Star Fox-style game, both produced playable, smooth experiences with enemy ships and boss battles. But the crazy part is the cost efficiency. Sol one-shotted this in about 10 minutes at a fraction of the cost, roughly half of the tokens compared to Fable. Users also ran a similar max effort test for a Terraria clone. Fable still edges out slightly in producing the absolute strongest result, but Sol got it done at roughly a quarter of the price and in 2/3 of the runtime, and they both have almost same features. If you want to see what happens when you let these agents run wild, Matt Schumer let Sol run completely autonomously for an entire week to build a voxel-based Manhattan. The sheer precision of the grid, the scale of the buildings, and the varied architecture is just mind-blowing. This shows that GPT-5.6 can run autonomously for extensive periods of time, and can get your most intensive tasks done, which in my opinion even Fable lacks. Someone else pushed it even further, burning over 30 million tokens to build a fully functional Google Earth clone. It has 3D terrain, satellite imagery, global search, and massive landmarks like the Taj Mahal and Eiffel Tower, complete with live weather and day-night cycles. Moving forward, someone built an open source tool using Sol, where you just upload a single photo of an object, like this ship, and the AI procedurally writes the entire 3D model from scratch in code. No manual scanning, just pure generation, which is just insane. But my absolute favourite generation so far is this procedural recreation of the movie Interstellar. Using just 3.js and 0 external assets, Sol generated the atmospheric cornfield, the rocket ignition, the Endurance space station, and the Gargantua black hole. The music, dialogues, and scenes were all procedurally generated in just 14 minutes. Another user used Sol inside Codex to completely rewrite his procedural Brutalist City Builder demo in less than a year, since he originally made it with GPT-5, without touching a single line of code himself. And if you want to see raw data visualization, a user made it map out current internet discourse into a fully functional 3D solar system. The planets are platforms like Twitter and Reddit, the moons are topics, and the orbit speeds represent attention. But OpenAI isn't the only one cooking. xAI just dropped Grok 4.5, and it is seriously impressing developers. It generated this slick benchmark website, and when asked for water effects, it natively coded this incredibly smooth, interactive, rippling liquid background. However, when put head-to-head against Sol on a complex physics simulation of a glass bridge, there is a visible gap. Grok produced a functional but flat 2D bridge, while Sol built out a deep 3D interactive environment with proper structural failure and cinematic UI. In the front-end design space, Fable 5 is still putting up a massive fight. In a head-to-head test, building a sleek local AI guide website, Fable completed the task in 5 minutes, whereas Sol Ultra took 30 minutes to reach a similar level of polish. That being said, don't sleep on GPT-5.6 Terra. A user prompted it to build a high-end car website, and with absolutely zero chain of thought processing, it spat out this incredibly clean, modern Porsche landing page. For environmental aesthetics, the styling differences are becoming very clear. When asked to create a Kyoto street scene, Fable leans into a beautifully stylized, anime-inspired aesthetic, while Terra pushes for a much more grounded, realistic lighting setup, with detailed cobblestones. Someone prompted Sol Pro, Fable 5, Grok 4.5, and GLM 5.2 to generate massive floating island districts of major cities. While Fable wrote the tightest code, Sol Pro utilized a super modern, clean rendering stack, batching thousands of windows perfectly, even though it cheekily skipped out on generating the requested glass reflections to save on processing. Out of nowhere, Meta just crashed the party. Mark Zuckerberg posted on X for the first time since 2023 to announce Muse Spark 1.1. This is a highly capable agentic coding model that is insanely cheap, $1.25 per million input tokens. With a 1 million token context window, it is currently dominating tool use and long-running autonomous benchmarks, rivaling Opus 4.8 for a fraction of the cost. Video generation is also taking a terrifyingly massive leap. Leaks of ByteDance's upcoming Seedance 2.5 show an ultra-long video beta slider that goes up to 180 seconds. Yes, 3 full minutes of coherent AI video. Just look at this 30-second alien invasion trailer it generated. The atmospheric dread, the massive UFO slowly revealing itself over the house, and the consistent character reaction. It is miles ahead of what we had just a few months ago. The frontier is moving violently fast. Rumours are already swirling that xAI is finishing training on a massive 2 trillion parameter Grok model slated for next month, and Anthropic is reportedly already using a fully trained Fable 5.1 internally to strike back at Sol. The gap between these models is closing, and the cost of intelligence is plummeting. Let me know down in the comments which of these Sol or Fable generations blew your mind the most. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next major drop, and I'll see you in the next one.